Lebanon, a country known for its rich culture, resilient people, and stunning landscapes. But today, Lebanon faces a crisis of unprecedented scale, threatening its very existence. From currency devaluation to banking collapse, we'll uncover the perfect storm that's plunging this nation into turmoil. How did we get here? The story starts in October 2019. Fed up with economic mismanagement, corruption, and austerity, thousands of Lebanese took to the streets. But while protests roared behind closed doors, Lebanon's economy was on the edge of disaster. The currency was on the brink of devaluation, debt was skyrocketing, and years of poor policy were finally catching up. As the currency plunged, people's savings were trapped in banks. The Lebanese pound lost over 95% of its value. Banks imposed tight controls, leaving citizens unable to access their savings even for essentials. Foreign currency became scarce, and the state could no longer afford to import food, fuel, or medicine. The economic collapse devastated daily life. Families faced shortages of basic goods, electricity blackouts, and hyperinflation nearing 200%. Many, unable to survive, even attempted dangerous journeys across the Mediterranean to Europe. This isn't the first time Lebanese have been forced to leave. Lebanon's economy has been supported by remittances from its vast diaspora, millions of Lebanese who fled previous crises. But with this crisis, even remittances can't save the day. Adding to the strain, Lebanon hosts one of the highest per capita refugee populations in the world. With more demand for goods and services, prices soared. Aid fell short, leaving the country to cover costs it could no longer afford. High interest rates, intended to stabilize the economy, only deepened Lebanon's crisis. The government had borrowed heavily, with rates reaching unsustainable levels, ultimately locking Lebanon into a cycle of debt with no exit strategy. This crisis was years in the making, fueled by an economic model that prioritized wealth over sustainability. Even essentials like electricity became unmanageable, with Électricité du Liban, the state utility, accumulating billions in losses over decades. Efforts to enact reforms face political deadlock. Despite repeated calls for change, political factions remain gridlocked. Each side guards its own interests, leaving the country in a prolonged stalemate while citizens suffer. Will international support be enough? Foreign aid has come in waves, but it's only a band-aid. Without structural reforms, Lebanon's underlying issues remain, and citizens are losing patience. Lebanon's young people, many of whom are committed to creating change, still believe in a brighter future. They're calling for accountability, demanding reforms, and pushing for a society that no longer lives on the edge of disaster. But is it enough? Lebanon's future is uncertain. But one thing is clear, the world is watching, and the Lebanese people aren't ready to give up. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this story.